fresh. Howdy there, true believers. Welcome back to New World Nerds. I'm Superman Nico, and with me is
DaBatmanBrandon, and we're back at it again with another video.
We had to do it. We just cracked open a couple of beers. Well, I can't say the same for Brandon. I don't know what he's doing.
Oh, hey, we're cracking open this podcast.
Oh, baby boy, that's what's happening. We cracked it right open, and we're gonna jump right in. We're gonna dive in. We're gonna move some wine with our minds and put it right into our veins.
I wish I could move Amber Heard. Never mind.
Anyway, welcome back. So glad you guys could make it. So glad Brandon's here to geek out about the latest DC World of DC movie. Definitely not the DCEU.
The World of DC, whatever they're calling it now.
Whatever it is, we're covering it. This is a bonus episode for the New World Nation podcast. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm probably gonna put it on SoundCloud. Probably gonna put it on YouTube. Everything. It's gonna be great.
It's probably gonna be in your house on your little television.
It's probably gonna be right in your brain. We're gonna beam it right in there.
Yeah,
beam it right through your
pocket screen.
Right through your eyeballs. It's coming in.
Right through your retinas. Yeah, I'm excited. Where did you want to start? Did you write notes or anything?
I didn't write any notes for this podcast. All I did was
neither did I.
Set everything up and freaking open up a beer or two. And
did you say drip drip?
Drip drip.
Is that what the kids are calling? You got a little drip drip?
Yeah, a couple of them. God damn it! This speaker keeps falling. It's all right. We're good. Everything's fine. How are you?
All right, where did you want to start with this?
Well, let's just. Do you want to just? How do you want? Did you want to run through the movie? You want to just give us some thoughts?
I thought we could just talk about all the good shit and then the shit that didn't work.
All right, well, let's go. Okay, here's what I told everybody, and I'm gonna burp real quick. Excuse me.
Yeah, you're good.
That was a good one,
Morty.
You gotta understand, Morty, this Aquaman picture, it's pretty good. I know BVS wasn't that great, but Morty, you gotta trust me on this one.
Dude, honestly.
All right, so the things I liked about this movie is definitely everything Jason Momoa does. This cast, I think it's a really well casted movie. I think it's a beautiful movie, beautifully shot. I think the CGI works for me. Yeah, there's a few things where it's guess what this was made afterwards. It was made in After Effects and shit. It's because they couldn't fucking film in Atlantis because that's not a real place.
You're dumb.
You're dumb.
That doesn't exist. You're an idiot.
But this is the most Aquaman movie we will ever get. I think James Wan went balls to the wall. He's I don't know if I'm ever gonna make another one of these. I don't know. The whole DC EU is imploding around us. Yeah. Let me finish this fucking movie. I'm making the most Aquaman thing of all time. It was an Aquaman movie that wasn't afraid to be an Aquaman movie, a comic book movie that wasn't afraid to be a comic book movie, which I don't think you can say about other DC movies. That's what I really freaking loved about this movie.
Yeah, it didn't shy away from the source material. I was going to say this is the first DC movie to make $1 billion since The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Since The Dark Knight, am I right? Yeah, but it's just crazy to think about that. Aquaman was one of the most made fun of characters.
For sure.
And now he's the one making literally the most money in the DC movies, the current universe.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting what happened. You know what I mean? This revamp of Aquaman. I do think the casting is really good. Yeah, I like that they went balls to the walls with everything. Because I feel this character, you could do this so wrong. It could have come out so much worse. You know what I mean?
And
for all
weird
the
and missing the point.
It has in it. Yeah, exactly. But the fact that it actually came out kind of coherent, and then I also liked. Oh man, there's a really good part. Can we just dive into this, or
yeah, dude, just go.
Yeah. Okay. Well, when they go to the center of the earth, that stuff.
That was so weird.
No, but it was a weird because I just didn't expect it. I was okay, so they're swimming down, and it's they hit this coral reef, and then oh god, oh they're going to like there's like dinosaurs and shit. Like it's like literally Journey to the Center of the Earth.
For real.
Like there is like there was like a whole inhabitants in the middle of the earth. It was just funny. I was like, I love this shit. Like this movie, like yes, this is world building. This is shit I want to see. It's exciting. It's other places. I don't know, like. I thought it was really interesting. It was something that all the other DC movies I feel like kind of lacked, like that extra little like kick in like the third act, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like, and then that whole scene with like the trench and how they like got into there and they had to like fight them and stuff. That stuff was really interesting too.
Yeah, it looks super dope. I think James Wan flexed his like horror muscles there.
Yeah, you could kind of feel like the little horror element. Like you kind of were like, okay, why is it so quiet? And then like they do the jump scare of like the lightning, and I'm like, God, James Wan, you tease.
And not just that, he freaking like that whole when they're like diving in with the flare and shit. That shit was scary.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, just like the cinematography of it, like how good it looked. It looked like a comic book panel. It looked like something you'd see in a comic. You know, it's like a lot of it is just crazy how good it came out. Like it's crazy because this character is the most made fun of, and now it's doing the best.
Yep.
So
suck it.
The world has gone upside down. Is basically what I'm saying. And Batman and Superman basically quit their jobs. So, yeah, we don't even know if there's gonna be any universe. Like I don't know. It's so up in the air that like it's just interesting to see how good this movie is doing. It definitely says something about the time, you know.
I think I don't know if you heard, but Warner Brothers has come out and said we're focusing at one movie at a time. I was like, well, guess what? You guys should have been doing that from the fucking beginning. Like you have to make one good movie first. Like I know me and you, they're pretty big fans of like Man of Steel and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I just went on this other YouTube channel's podcast, Kinnear Reviews. It's called Sound Nerds. I'm pretty sure it's out already. If you guys are watching this, go ahead and check them out. But I told him, I was like, my view on Man of Steel changes like the weather. Like some days I really freaking like it and I like what they did, and then other times I'm just like, that was so fucking dumb. How the fuck are you gonna let fucking Jonathan Kent die by a tornado? Something that definitely Superman could save him from. We're not going off on a tangent. Sorry,
dude. But I know I definitely get your point. But that is like certain things with the DC movies, they're just not getting it right. Yeah. And like I feel like Man of Steel was a lot of wasted potential. Like Man of Steel should have hit $1 billion.
You definitely
because it did have some interesting ideas in there. But like it's like this movie actually, I feel like kind of narratively is like makes more sense. It's like simpler in a way, but still like fun and interesting with the whole treasure hunt aspect, Indiana Jones type vibe.
Hell yeah.
Like it's definitely I don't know, but like you can tell that whoever made this is actually kind of smart. Like yeah, there is a lot of stuff in the other movies that do not age well. Like when you watch it now, you're like, that's just dumb. Like it's not interesting. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's hard to fake the funk. Especially when you see like a better movie.
Fake the funk. I like that. Stop trying to be the Dark Knight. You're not Christopher Nolan, Zack Snyder. You're not.
Dude, honestly, but I didn't mind that like real world Superman.
No,
like, I wanted that story too. You know. So it's just like I don't know.
I know it's Aquaman podcast.
It could have been done if the writing was better.
Maybe we should do a podcast about Man of Steel. We'll talk about that later. Cause
I'm down for that, and we need to do one for Glass.
Dude, I'm a little video's coming out tomorrow as of today while we're recording this Aquaman podcast. So it'll already be out by the time you guys watch this. I just recorded a quick video about Glass, non-spoiler, on the channel. So
nice.
Check it out. Whenever you do end up seeing Glass, we'll do another one of these because I just want to talk about everything about it. Yeah. It's so crazy. There's a lot of stuff. Like no one I know has seen it yet. And I just want to talk about it.
No, yeah, I know everything about it, and I'm salty, and I want to talk about it.
But I want you to see it. I want you to see it first.
Yeah.
Okay, back to Aquaman. Some stuff I didn't like about this movie. I thought the dialogue was kind of bad sometimes. Especially
it's definitely simple, like not very complicated. They're not really, it's not. It's just like, oh yeah, find the map. All right, cool.
Well, and there's some stuff where I'm like, what? That doesn't make any sense. How does he smell underwater? How bad does this guy smell?
Okay. That was one thing that didn't really make sense. Another one was like, when they jumped out of the helicopter with no parachute.
They were
I was like,
Atlanteans.
they're dead as fuck. Excuse my language, but like that, they're like hitting cement, like from that high on sand that's hot, like, and they're from the sea. Like they should be like hitting the ground and evaporating or something. Like I don't know. It was just interesting. Like they kind of just answered that question, like, oh, okay, if you put them in the desert, will they die? And it's like, no. Like, they're just kind of invincible. They can just they're like they can just take a grenade to the chest, yo.
Yeah,
he's just like ow.
People are like, oh, they're gonna die if they jump out of the helicopter, and they're like, ha, that's the wrong number. Boom, and they jumped out, and then they were fine. So the dialogue.
That was one thing where I was like, yeah, bullshit. They would have probably died from that.
Yeah, there's weird stuff like, how did they get out of the desert? They took a helicopter to get there, and did they just walk out?
Yeah,
what happened?
Yeah, they never show it. They just show them in like Italy, like, or is that what it was? Or no, Venice or whatever.
I thought it was. I don't. They were in European place.
Yeah, but it was beautiful. It was a beautiful place.
Yes,
for sure.
with lots of wine.
Yeah, with lots of fishmen trying to kill them. A big chase scene at one point, actually.
With a beautiful picture book of Pinocchio.
Dude, well, I thought it was interesting how like the part where Aquaman saves the girl, he just like shoves the bell. He like runs up and like football shoves it. Like, because it reminded me of football. I was like, he just like shoved that shit. He just like tackled the shit out of that. Like,
yeah.
It's just funny. Like, it's so brawny and interesting. You're like, that's different. I've never seen that.
Well, because he's AquaBRUH. All right, he's not
Aqua.
He's not Aquaman. He's
like
AquaBRUH.
Bro. Yeah, he's like Aqua Sir.
Yeah.
Aqua dude.
Aqua dude. He's like, yo, bro, what's up? Just gonna go ahead and find the trident, command land and sea. I'm the bridge. I'm gonna stop my brother, and we're gonna do it together. But we're gonna do it while we're jacked.
I feel like this movie, like, honestly, Jason Momoa was like really good casting, just because he's like Polynesian. Uh-huh. Like, he's actually from Hawaii. Yeah. Or like I told you that stuff over text about like how he was raised on Oahu, which is where like I was raised as well. So like it's crazy that we both lived on the island. Like he lived on the west side and I lived in like the center. But like I asked my grandma about it after the movie and I was like, that shit is crazy. Like we were like, that was like probably before he was like a movie star, but it was just crazy that we were like in the same area, you know, and like, man, I don't know. It just like makes this movie so much more interesting for me. Yeah. What was your favorite part? Cause I have a like certain part that I think is my favorite. And I want to hear what
my favorite part. I definitely loved the part where they're running through that European city that we were just talking about, like the rooftops, like while Mira's running away, and then they pan around and they see Black Manta versus Aquaman. I thought that was really cool. But my favorite part of this movie would have to be like the ending where fucking Aquaman's like surfing on a fucking shark and shit. Like that, I just love how balls to the wall crazy, like 100% full blown Aquaman this movie was. So I guess just anything where he's being fucking just AquaBRUH.
They owned it. And I love it. Okay, so my favorite part was when they were it was at the end too, the end battle, when he's riding on the seahorse and he's like pointing the trident and he's like, you know, doing like the and then like and then
my man.
And then he's doing like the Jason Momoa thing. And then it like pans back, and then all the animals are following him. Like that was like, I felt like I was like watching a comic. Hell like it was just like, whoa, like this is like what Aquaman's supposed to be. Like this is really cool that they showed like all the animals like following him in the battle and shit. Like that is some hardcore shit, some Aqua dude shit. Yeah. Some Aqua surfer bro shit.
Okay, no, I found my real favorite part. It's when him and his dad are fucking at that bar and his dad can still outdrink him. That's fucking dope.
That was cool too. I like that because it's like they mirror reality.
And then how the guy asked for the selfie.
Okay, that's moments where I feel like it's more like Jason Momoa than Aquaman because like they're all like mad at him. They're like, "Can I see the picture?"
I was
and then the picture montage after that is just like them partying, like them just getting.
They just get fucking wasted.
Just, like, having a good time, dude. It's just funny because it's just like that feels like more AquaBRUH, like Jason Momoa being Jason Momoa instead of Aquaman. But like I like how they incorporate the character like that. You know, it's like adds a bit of humor to it. It's like different for a DC film.
Do you remember that guy, Aussie Man Reviews, the one who's like, oh, Destination fucked and shit?
Yeah,
he fucking...
Yeah, I remember Destination.
Well, he interviewed Jason Momoa for Aquaman, and it was so funny. Like, Jason Momoa is just like the fucking coolest dude. I just want to be him. I want him to be my friend. When I have a party, I want to be like, hey, Jason, if you're around, like, you should come on over, dude. We'll fucking drink some beers, take some shots.
I watch his vlog. So ever since I learned that we were like might have been on the same island at the same time. Yeah. I like started watching his vlog that he has on YouTube, and it's super interesting because like it just covers his tour for Aquaman, and then even after that, but like he goes back to like the islands on the vlogs. So it's like really crazy. I get to see like some of the island I was raised at. It's like really trippy for me, you know.
Yeah,
like, I don't know. It's like super interesting. He is really like he's a really good person. Like I'm glad this is one of the few times that in superhero films where they actually get like a dude that's like kind of like a real hero. Like in some of these movies, like a lot of the guys they're just actors. Like you know what I'm saying? Like they might you know you don't get the vibe that they're like good people kind of. But like with Jason Momoa, you kind of do. It's like really different.
I think for that,
it's like wow, they actually got like a good person to be a hero. Like you know what I'm saying? When everything works out and you fit the part and it's like perfect, that's how you do make the $1 billion. You know what I mean?
I think Chris Evans is the same way. Definitely.
Yeah. Chris Evans is another good example of that. Like you can just tell he's like an actual good person.
Yeah. But definitely. So how long were you on Oahu for? When did you leave the island?
Yeah. It was like when I was born, right? I went like right after I was born. So like basically that's till I was like 5 or 6.
Okay.
There. And that's why my middle name is Keoki.
Oh.
That's Hawaiian. Yeah, it means George.
That's dope. My friend has the same.
I told you that before, right?
Yeah, I don't honestly not sure. I think this might be the first time I'm hearing it. New World Nerd exclusive.
Yeah. So it's just super interesting because I'm like, man, that's like part of kind of a little bit of part of my culture. I don't know. It's just he kind of represents all that in a really like good light. It's just like them doing the Hawkins stuff on the red carpet too. Really
yeah, that was
like,
awesome.
It's just super interesting. Yeah, it's like it's a cool representation of the culture.
I'm glad we got a movie like this in the same year we got a movie like Black Panther. Like people are just there's representation all over the place. Now we just need representation at the top of the studios. The people making all the money. We need it's still just a bunch of white guys. Like we need some representation up there in the executive spots too. Like this, the diversity isn't something. The diversity isn't an old wooden ship used in the Civil War era, like an Anchorman. This is something that we need to keep doing, keep working on. You know.
I definitely think with movies like Captain Marvel, you know, like having a female lead like in a Marvel film, like that's going to be really dope too. Like I don't know, there's a lot of interesting things. I definitely feel like diversity is never going to stop. I also feel like. If we can get movies like this now, like and just the way they did Black Manta too was so accurate, but it was like well done.
So that, good.
Like, and Ocean Master, like Orem, like that was another big one where I was like, I remember you text me, you were like the mask.
Like,
cool.
how does he look so fucking cool, man? Like, how did everything like get cool?
In the comics, he looks like that exactly. In the comics, and they literally stuck like word or like the image for image. And it's like, you can't get away with that with everything. Like, even, I remember when Justice League came out, in interviews, Zack Snyder talked about how he's not going to do the orange suit. And that's why Jason Momoa in Justice League or whatever had he had like a different suit.
That green one? I don't even know.
Yeah, and then James Wan came on, and then he was like, no, we're going to like rep tradition. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're going to do everything accurate.
I mean, just look at those Justice League. Just look at those Justice League scenes that have Aquaman and Mira in it, and look at the fucking Aquaman movie. Like this is done by someone who fucking loves Aquaman, loves these comic book characters and storylines, and he's just like, or I heard it on a Kevin Smith podcast. He was like. He's like, he talked to James Wan. He's like, oh, dude, the movie's awesome and la la la. He's like, the fucking the costumes look great. And he's like, yeah, well, they've been in the fucking comics for 60 years. So I was like, why fucking change it now? Like
exactly.
I was just like, it's just
and with other material they don't do
exactly.
They do change it up, and like they need to take examples from this movie.
I think some people can change it and make it better. Some people can't do that. Just take it right from the fucking. You have the roadmap. Don't fucking drive off a cliff with it. You have the map.
Right. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
Right. Like that classic saying. I definitely agree with certain things that, like, changing it is just kind of silly. Or like the whole. I don't know. Yeah. There's a lot of other movies that do that. I'm not gonna just name examples. But we could go off on tangents.
Yeah, for sure.
Well. Okay, so yeah, what would we say is the worst part? We said probably the writing.
Yeah, probably the dialogue between certain characters.
Right. I didn't like. Yeah, I mean, like they're really trying to shift the whole Arthur, because I know that they're probably gonna get married. So
yeah,
that's like what they're heading towards.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just interesting because like watching this movie, I was like, where? Like DC is like they don't have any plans. Like we don't know if there's gonna be anything. Like Justice League performed the lowest, and it had the most characters.
Which is the craziest thing to ever think of. Like,
dude, and the character that got made the most fun of is now making the most money.
Exactly.
So that's also it just doesn't. There is a lot of things that are fishy about this, pun intended. Like I don't know. Like you just kind of like even watching it, it's like how invested do I get if I know that they might just reboot it? But like I don't think they're gonna reboot it if it did really good, which it did.
Yeah, no, there's no way this doesn't get a sequel. Like they've made sequels with shittier things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
okay. Another thing I was gonna ask you: do you think that they're gonna cut off his hand?
Yes, I think
like
Black
later.
Manta. He's like, "You kill my dad, I take your hand." Like
he's like, your hand. You're doing like the Batman.
Yeah, I was a boy, now I'm a bat. But there's something you said, like the worst parts of it. I think that the part where they're about to get to Atlantis, and it's like, oh, the first time we ever see Atlantis, and they're going on the bridge, and they're like, why the bridge? Like I felt like there was like too much. They were trying to honest trailer proof this movie. Do you know what I mean? Because that.
Interesting. Like how so? Why?
Because I just feel like it normally like in 2000, like 5 years ago, that wouldn't have needed to be explained because there wouldn't have been people fucking, okay, maybe not 5 years ago, 10 years ago, there would have been people fucking like picking apart this fucking movie. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like this one little thing.
Feel like they were trying to explain some things.
Yeah,
and why like nobody's found it basically.
Yeah, I was like, I get it, and then it comes up like later on, like in the movie, like why the fuck do you need like it comes up later when they're trying to escape, when they're like dodging the cannon fire and stuff like that. That's why you use the bridge. Like I get that, but like I felt like they were trying to cover their tracks because they've been torn apart by people like that for so long. Yeah. And it's just like,
you think they're trying to like make the scripts kind of like hole proof basically.
Yeah. And it's
so like, there's not a lot of like little holes like that.
Yeah. And I understand that, but I feel like there's just some stuff like I don't need an explanation. Like you guys, especially like with especially if a movie like this, they build up for me, movies build up goodwill over time. So like if I'm enjoying myself, guess what? I don't give a fuck about why there's a bridge underwater. I accept that. And if you don't accept it too, fuck you. It's a fucking movie. It's not meant to be fucking put under a microscope and shit. It's about a guy named Aquaman.
Yeah,
like
it's about a guy who can swim fast. He's real smooth.
You've already suspended your disbelief, okay? You're here. You bought a ticket. You saw the trailer and you said, that looks good. So give me a fucking break, all right? If you fucking want to wonder all this shit.
Yeah, I like it. What'd you think of Atlantis in general? Like how the aesthetic of it? Like what did you...
I
Because I liked it.
I liked it too. Definitely felt like, or I feel like we could have got more of it. I definitely would have liked to explore there a little more.
We visual spectacle there.
Yeah. I love the design. I remember we were talking about this before the movie came out. In other videos and stuff like that, we were talking about how they shot dry, but they made it to where it looked like they were underwater.
I feel like
I thought that
actually came out pretty good.
I think so too. It looks so much better than any fucking air bubbles they had in Justice League.
Dude, I know it makes the air bubbles look so bad now when you watch it too. It's like, it's so cringy.
And do you want to talk about how Mira I felt like those two people who met in Justice League knew each other before, had some kind of history, and then in this one they kind of like they meet each other like, oh, hey, good job beating Steppenwolf. I don't know you because there would have been no time where I would have met you. Like,
yeah. I feel like they do kind of retcon the relationship because they do act like they know each other, and then later they're like, it's like, oh, the official meeting. You saved my dad. So,
you saved my dad.
Yeah.
You're my friend.
Why did you say that name? Why did you say that?
My dad. Don't bring up my dad.
Yeah. Oh God. All right. Good callbacks.
Yeah.
Another part I saw people complain about in reviews is Black Manta's character in general. Okay, there was a part where I was like, dude, he should be super dead. And he falls off the cliff. You know what part I'm talking about. And he's got the chain wrapped around his neck. And he like hits his head. Like there's literally a shot that just follows him down into the water, into the abyss.
Yeah. But he's a Black Manta. He's fine. Black Manta's fine.
It like, shows him like hit his head like multiple times on rocks. I'm like, dude, his skull is crushed.
Dude.
Like his skull is jello in that thing. Like there's no way. Yeah, and then they're just like, he's just like, oh, washes him on the shore and he's fine. It's like, get out. Like that dude would be fish food. Shark food, man.
Oh my gosh. Gone. So the worst part about this movie is like, I'm your dad. Here's the knife that my granddad gave to me, and now I'm giving it to you. Yeah. I was like, this is the biggest, hey, I don't have long to live monologue I've ever heard in my life.
I definitely thought that. No, it's funny because like I like that they kind of try and give an origin to like the Black Manta name with like how he was like a frogman, and then that he did sting operations and all this shit. Like I thought that was interesting, but the fact that they even attempted to try to give an origin to his name was like, I was like, oh, at least they tried, No,
I definitely liked how Aquaman left his dad for dead. Like that's good. Like that's fine. It was just the knife thing that I think took it a bit too far. Where I was like,
I definitely knew. We definitely knew he was gonna die.
Yeah.
Like when you're giving your son omens in the middle of a mission, you're probably gonna die. You're probably just giving him your last will right there.
Yeah. And I don't know exactly what they're going to do with Black Manta to up the ante, like so where he can take his hand because he got Atlantean technology, and then he brought the fight to Aquaman, but he still lost. Like,
yeah, he got with that doctor at the end.
Yeah, so I'm kind of curious. Also, that part was really funny. But speaking of the end credit scene, you know what I thought would have been so much cooler besides that doctor? What? I think that if fucking Deathstroke came out at the end, was like, hey, Black Manta, you want to fucking join our team or what?
Like, that would have been cool because it connects the well, see, that's the thing. I don't think they plan.
Yeah,
they don't know, dude.
Exactly.
Like, and that's what's kind of scary. Like, it's all up in the air. But and this movie actually did kind of good, so it makes you think. Yeah, you know what? I don't know. Like, this makes me think of Shazam. Like, how is Shazam gonna work? I've been watching trailers of that, and I just don't know. Like, I know it's gonna be cool and it's campy and corny, but I just I feel like movies like Shazam are gonna maybe like dry out the superhero movie genre as a whole.
See, but
it's so meta, Like,
I think the campiness works in the Shazam stuff. I think it works because like it's a kid, Like that's why it works. I feel like if you made a Superman movie like that, it wouldn't hit with audiences and stuff like that. If you saw Superman flossing, it would have been that cool. But how many people do you know that aren't like us, that don't live in this nerd world, know about Shazam? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
So
it just makes me curious because like now every DC film is like, are they gonna do good or maybe not? Or I don't know. It's like it's kind of like I don't know.
Is it 3 steps backwards or is it a step in the right direction like Aquaman?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know. It just makes me interested to see if they're going to continue. I definitely want them to get all the other cast members back. For sure. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that'd be cool.
Like Henry Cavill, and I know people shit on Ben Affleck all the time, but if we
I just feel like he'd be fine.
Yeah, I was like, and they're like, oh, well, he's getting kind of fat. I was like, no, like that's just how some people are built. Like there's still muscle there. Like it's just like he's
a fucking actor, dude. He has a life.
Yeah,
let him eat some fucking Cheetos.
No shit.
A little bit
Carbs taste so good. Okay, get the fuck over yourself.
He'll run and do shit later.
Yeah,
you can just he's an actor. They'll just put less padding in the suit, and just his fat will beat the padding.
It's just like fuck, put him in a muscle suit. I don't care if they get the job done. Like I don't care.
Yeah,
like
honestly, it's interesting because the fights are better choreographed in like BVS, like the warehouse scene. But then also when you look at it, when you watch the special features of each of the films, like Christopher the Nolan films, he actually like knew how to fight. Like Christian Bale actually memorized all his moves. Like they were actual real moves that he could do. So I don't know. It just makes it interesting, like the different types of filming that you do. Like some films get super fake, and then some films try and like keep it super authentic.
Yeah,
like, it's just really interesting.
But I love the way like Batman moves there in BVS and stuff like that. Like
how, no, yeah, he definitely is like the Arkham Batman. Like
yeah,
he is like that come to life.
But I mean, Zack Snyder just played the Arkham games and made fucking BVS because that's why the Batmobile does all that shit too. It was like, hey, dude, those guys are dead. Are we not killing? Or we're killing people now? Yeah. Like, all right.
They kind of retcon Batman, making him kill again. But it's interesting because like when you watch the old Batman, or like with Keaton.
Keaton killed.
He killed. Yeah, he does. He kills willy nilly. Even kind of Christopher Reeves, he leaves everyone in the dam for dead in the original Superman. I mean, I don't know. There's like a lot.
Hey, that happens sometimes.
You can nitpick. Look, Luke let people die when he blew up the Death Star. All the innocent troopers that didn't know anything.
Fuck
them.
There's
a lot of things that we can just nitpick. Yeah, you see, so you can just go on forever.
Exactly. I think you bring up a good point.
Yeah, I think that's true.
And then Aquaman let Black Manta's dad die.
I like that end fight. I felt like it was kind of like Game of Thrones-ish.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it was like, each house has to fight ceremony. It's like, whoever breaks the...
whoever he be worthy to defeat the other in combat.
Yeah. I liked when they like jumped up on the like hood and then like the slow motion and the rain and everything, and like it just zoomed in on their faces when they fight at the end. Like that whole end fight was like really well choreographed.
That's super dopeness. We got Green Goblin teaching him how to fucking do a spinny spear thing. That was pretty dope.
That little move that comes in at the end.
Yeah, I was like, oh, most people I bet can't do that then. And I like to tell myself like, oh yeah, Orm got him before because it was underwater. Like that's why he won. And
that's how they kind of like explained it.
And then they did it on land. They did it out of the water the second time. That's why I think Jason Momoa won. And also, he's like, "Oh, my Bob's alive, Bob."
Yeah, he was like, "I have the trident of Neptune." I mean, that's like Little Mermaid, right?
Yeah.
Hold on,
Poseidon.
The
the fucking dude who could also talk to fish like I can.
Oh god, his aquakinesis.
Oh dude, I love Mira's powers. I was like, goddamn, fucking Katara out here.
She was really cool. I was like, why doesn't anyone else have those aqua powers? Like, there should be like a whole race of people that can do that.
I thought about that.
I guess not.
And I was just like, I also thought about like, Mira, why do you need to recruit Arthur Curry for this? You could just find the trident yourself because you're fucking smart. Like, why do we need Aquaman again?
I don't think she could become king though. That's what.
Yeah, I was just like, well, then there's a bigger problem there at Atlantis.
Yeah, she would go to the center of the earth, and then she might survive, and then she's like, oh shit, Nicole Kidman's here. All right, cool. And then like they'll go for the trident, and then they'll both die.
Yeah,
that's like the end of the story. Like,
because the kaiju looking motherfucker would have fucking ate him.
Okay, what do you think of that? I thought it was really.